Hey guys, what's up? My name is Chris Huckes, and this is Your Best Life Defined. So I think it took us about a month to get rid of everything we owned except the house. Yep, month. July, I had a wedding for my daughter, got her married. August 1st was the starting date for us to liquidate all of our assets, everything that we wasn't going to take with us on the road, and to get the house on the market, and we did it. And when I look back, I think, God, man, that was a lot of stuff, and it was a lot of work. And I remember, you look at these boxes of stuff, and it's not even stuff that you're using anymore. In most cases, it was stuff I hadn't seen in 10 years, but there was some connection to it because it was part of my past. I'm thinking, man, I love those boxes. I love those dusty boxes, those old boxes full of crap. Remind you of all the things you've done, all the things you've been through. But it was only by getting rid of those boxes that I was actually able to start living my life. See, we can't have it all. I mean, we can't do everything we want to do, and we can't buy and own everything we want to own. And it's only when we step away and we ask ourselves, first and foremost, who we are, we discover who we are on the inside, that we're actually able to build our life surrounded by things that accent the person that we are and the things we love. See, the reason we put things in boxes is because they don't fit our life. We don't need them anymore. But better than better than going out and randomly picking things and then finding out that we don't need them, but they have value, so we throw them in a box and we put them in the garage. The idea might be that we slow down and we actually wait just long enough to make sure that thing we have to have, that thing we can't live without, actually gives us what we're looking for, actually will fulfill that need that we have. How many boxes, how many hours, for matter, how many hours have you spent working to pay for things that are now in boxes or stashed in the bottom of a closet somewhere, or hanging on the exercise machine, or out behind the garage, things that you, at the time, you just had to have, you just wanted it. What would you do with the time that it took to work to pay for those things? Had you just stepped back and said, no, I don't need the abdominizer, I don't think. I'm going to wait on the abdominizer, all right? I'm just going to hold back on it. No, I'm not really a runner. I don't know if we should buy a trip. Well, yeah, baby, but it's this X, Y, and Z brand. It's got this good-looking guy who runs with you. And you're like, yeah, all right, let's get it. And it turns into be a coat rack. It turns into be something that the grandkids run their cars on when they come to visit for the weekend. It isn't used for its intended purpose. But it was $1,200 just the same, right? Gee, for the most part, in the early days of this whole story, my emphasis had been on criticizing your choices. But what I found out is that it's not my place to explain to you what you're doing wrong. My place in this is to guide you to see what you can do right, what you can do better. I don't care if you have a treadmill in your basement that's covered up with all kinds of crap because it makes a decent place to store your old coats. It's not my business. But what I'm saying is you might want to consider whether it might be a good idea to go ahead and refine your focus so that instead of spending $1,200 on a piece of equipment again that you're not going to use, that isn't going to add any value to your life, that you spend that $1,200 on some experience or something that actually does. I got $1,200 in a kayak, in 2 kayaks and a kayak rack for my truck. But there's no doubt that I love kayaking. There's no doubt that I will get my money's worth out of that investment because it's part of who I am. It's engaged in who I am. And because the rest of my life looks like it does, it's not like I'm not going to have access to that. I don't have a job. I mean, yeah, I guess I do. This podcast is my job. But if I choose to, I can go load those kayaks. In fact, they're loaded up right now. I can go to the lake anytime I want. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about not having things in your life you want. I'm talking about having things in your life that you want because it makes your life better. because it gives you access to the things you love and the person you are. It gives you access to the experiences that you want to have. I mean, it doesn't make any sense for you to buy $10,000 worth of woodworking tools if you're a yoga instructor. And I know that's a big one. That's all, like, well, obviously you wouldn't do something. No one does that. But when it comes to the small things, that you just reach over, you pull up at the checkout counter and you just reach over and grab that little trinket, or you grab this or that, or you decide, well, no, that would be cool. That would be cool is not a qualifier for you to waste the time it took to earn that money to buy that. Oh, I'd like that. That'd be, yeah, let's get that. Yeah, that's not really a thought out process, not a statement that is indicative of people who put thought into living their best life. That's a spontaneous reaction to the need to be happy, to that immediate dose of happiness that comes from grabbing a hold of something and knowing now that it's yours. It's yours. I got it. Yeah. I've done it a lot. I know. I lived it. Boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff that we hadn't looked at since we purchased it, since the week after we purchased it. Things I couldn't live without. Now, I'm going to defend this in a way. Because when people who know me listen to think, well, you've done this and you've done that and you've done this and you've done that. I'm a photographer. I've got some money invested in photography equipment. I understand backpacking and hiking. I have some money invested in the podcast and certain things. I was a mortgage broker and a general contractor. And there's a growth part of this that a lot of people don't understand. And that is, if the investment you make in things, if the thing that you're going after increases your value in your life based on your knowledge base, if you're inspired by it and it adds value to your life and gives you a skill set you wouldn't otherwise have, then test it out, test the water out. I wouldn't be able to do any of this had I not spent the time and effort in learning how to use computers, learning how to use software, learning how to manipulate photography, learning how to create graphics, learning how to record a podcast, learning how to work the internet. Is there money that's been lost or set aside because some of that equipment has become obsolete? Sure, there is. But you look where it's headed. Look where it's taken me. Had I not spent that time, had I not put that effort forward, there would be no way that I would be where I am right now. And if that's your path, if your path is one of perpetual growth in a direction that brings you to a better life, then go for it. But the problem we have is most of us don't have endless resources. We don't have millions and millions of dollars to piss away on ideas, half-hearted, half-thought-out plans. And we certainly don't have the time. So can you really afford to put another thing in a box? Can you really afford to spend money on that next item to put it in the back of the closet 3 weeks from now because you really realize, that really isn't for me? If you're going to make those choices that have a truly defined direction. It's okay to want to put the effort forward and put the resources forward because you love photography and you want to try your hand at it. But it's not okay to walk into a hardware store or a Best Buy and be looking for a new keyboard. Next thing you know, you walk out with a drone with no intention, no strategy, no plan, no history for exactly how that's going to make your life better. I mean, sure, you can do it, but at some point the resources run out. That's why we have people struggling right now. That's why amid COVID-19, after being out of work a month, people were wondering if they were going to be able to feed themselves and feed their family. Because every time we get a hold of some money, every time we get a hold of some resources or a little bit of free time, we piss it away. Not based on tangible dreams connected to who we are, but based on dreams that were given to us. Remember the last podcast I did about somebody's lying to you? Somebody's lying to you, and the problem is those lies have been told over and over and over again to the point that we believe them. They're part of who we are, and it's hard to break that cycle. But I did. I don't believe any of the lies anymore. There are things that I've had on the shelf for 6 months because in spite of what I believe about those things, I'm not ready to add those things to my life. I'm not ready to expend the time or the money it takes to purchase those things because I want to make sure they fit my life. I want to make sure they add value to my life. See, the reality is this. You can do it the way you're doing it now, and at the end of your life, you'll end up with a bunch of dusty boxes and a whole bunch of crap your kids are going to have to go through. And what's ironic about that is most of that stuff you will not have a connection to. Most of that stuff is just time wasted, money wasted stuff that you bought on a whim. Or you can be like me and you can take a look at every decision you make as far as finances and time obligations, and you can ask yourself one question. Does it fit who I am on the inside? Does it fit my story of who I am on the inside? My life's not perfect. I'm not perfect. My life is full of flaws. I struggle every day with something. But my life is a lot better than it was. My life is a lot better than it was 10 years ago when I was doing exactly the same thing as you was doing, that you do every day. And maybe you're the lucky one. Maybe you're not. Maybe you don't even need to listen to this. And if you don't and you don't take action on it, it's okay. I mean, you'll be fine. But chances are you're not going to wake up excited because of all the things you get to do. And at the end of your life, you're not going to sit back and go, damn, we had a good time. Man, we rocked it. Man, we lived it to win it. So, I don't know. It's something to think about. Like always, these are just my ideas, and I'm sharing with you not because I want something from you, but because I want to give you something. I want to give you the opportunity to wake up one day and realize that because you took a different path, and instead of doing what the world had told you to do, the world keeps telling you to do, you took a new path and you chose what fits. You chose what you want to do, what inspires you. At the end of your life, you'll be able to say, yeah, I did it. I don't know. Just my idea, just my talk. I'm going to keep rolling at it. I really appreciate the fact you keep coming back and listening. It's going to get better, and it may not get better because the story changes. It might get better simply because you start to understand what I'm saying. When you wake up tomorrow morning, you can choose a lot of things. There are going to be a lot of things you have to do, but you can choose something you want to do, something that's going to make your life better. And that's where you win. That is where everything comes together, and those are the wins we're looking for when we talk about living our best life. So, anyway, as always, I really appreciate you showing up. I'm not giving up on you. You can step away from it. When you come back, I'll still be here and it'll keep rolling. Maybe the story won't change. Maybe I won't get any better at it. But I'm not going to stop trying because this makes my life better. And big things are coming, guys. Big things are coming from me. Not because I'm looking for them or because I want them, but because that's what happens when you do good things for other people. Someone said, the more you give, the more you get. The more you give, the more you get. There's nothing that feels better to me than doing this because I know that someone is listening. I know that someone is going to wake up living a better life. Someone is going to pause when they get ready to make that decision that changes their life for the worse. And they're going to say, wait a minute. What did he say? Oh, yeah, I got time on this. We don't have to rush into anything. So, anyway, I'm enjoying it. I'm excited about it. It feels good to do it, and I'm glad that you're here. Just remember, today's your day. Make it a good one.